We're gonna do this.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Brayden.
Hi.
Hello. It's, 11 a.m. in the morning?
It's 11 a.m. in the morning. Do you have a name for this?
2.
Is there a name?
It's called Artversations.
Oh, Artversations.
Yeah.
So this is where we talk about aardvarks.
AARDVRK. That's so good.
Oh my god.
It used to be like art conversations, and I was like, I'm gonna mesh them together and be a little bit pretentious.
Mm-hmm. Is there a dash or no dash?
No dash.
One word.
It's like a
New word.
little bracket in between.
Well, aren't you Webster's?
Oxford Dictionary, call me
Didn't
up.
they name a book after you?
The new Bible, my name.
The Bible. Holy shit. Okay, well, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's like a last minute thing, but I'm like so happy to talk to you.
But honestly, I was really happy to do this because I've just needed to talk.
Yes.
Anyway, and I feel like lately, the thing I've been doing the most healing thing for me is to talk to people. I've been sitting outside on the SLC steps every day.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, like, just what being outside and, like, noticing your surroundings, not listening to music every 2 seconds. Like,
yes.
people come up to you, and I've been having 30-minute, hour-long conversations with random people every day.
That's so random people.
Random people who come up and ask for a cigarette, and I'm like, if you want to talk.
Right.
Honey.
Yeah, so like exchange a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
been
good.
so nice. Maybe it's because the weather.
It could be the weather. It's also because we're in a basement most time of the day, right? Like, I find it so annoying and claustrophobic that like there's no windows in our studios.
Yeah, what do you think about, because you were the last class that saw the old building.
The old building was like pretty old, so like it wasn't the best quality, but it was nice just to have like sunshine.
It was so,
while you're doing pliés,
you know what's kind of fun? I remember the day that one of our teachers came in and she said, okay, well, it's official, the termites have eaten the door off of my office. It just fell over.
Just everything disintegrated.
Yeah, no, I'm picturing it really cartoony, like millions of termites crawling across the floor and then up onto the wall and eating the door.
She's like trying to have a meeting and she can't close her door.
Her door disintegrates. Yeah, we used to do like Petit Allegro, and you could just see the floor like
the dust,
bouncing up and down. The dust, but I mean.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, we were gonna jump through the floor.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, a year and a few months, I guess.
Yeah.
But there was something special about being in a space that like hundreds of people before you have been in.
Yeah, like there's history.
There's history there, I would always stand at the window, like my spot at bar was by the window.
Really,
and that was so
it was nice, right?
First warm up, you could just pretend you're outside.
Yeah, and like I like want to like force one of the teachers just to be like, can we have class outside?
Oh my gosh.
Like improv or something. Like,
do they do that in university though?
I mean, like, there's a campus.
That's true. There's a quad. We're dancers.
We can dance anywhere.
That's very true.
Like improv. Like obviously not ballet because you have to bring like the pianos.
Yeah,
like,
the
bars. Pat like tracking her stuff.
Oh shit! Sorry, Tanya. Our pianos are so old. She always hits the rotten key. She's like, oh, sorry. Let's start over.
It's always just one. Like just to have something different.
I know, something
especially
different.
now that it's like spring, like.
Well, and how do you feel like? Do you find a big difference in your life between winter and spring? Because I do.
Yes. Oh my god, completely. The last week I've been so happy.
It's actually.
Why am I crying right now?
Because it's a huge big deal.
It's
like
seasonal depression is what it is. Yeah.
I didn't really think. I thought, I'll just take my all year round depression. I don't need the seasonal kind.
Literally.
But then halfway through winter, I'm eating Cheetos in the dark in my room, and I'm like, oh, holy shit.
So it's winter.
This is happening.
It feels like winter. Yeah.
I felt so like dark. It's also Toronto, kind of, in a way.
The city, like, there's not a lot of sunlight that gets in sometimes because the buildings, I guess.
Very, very gray.
And
it's all kind of like tunnels.
Yes.
Very windy.
Mm-hmm. You almost feel like, because of the streets are so square, like you're kind of in a grid.
Yeah.
Rather than like having surroundings that were a bit more like windy and roady. Like, you could, like, go wherever you wanted to, but you have to go on certain streets to get to a certain spot.
Where you're from, is it, like, a lot more nature supreme than here?
Oh, totally. I mean, like, I lived in the suburbs.
Oh,
beside, totally. Like, a ravine.
You probably, forest in your backyard.
Oh, like...
people going missing every day.
I mean, I'm not from, like,
You're not
the
from
country.
Cleveland.
No, literally. Because, like, you were able to just find a forest area, like, really quickly. Here, it's not like that.
I wonder that. There was a park, there was a huge park in Peterborough, really similar in size to High Park. Probably a bit smaller.
Okay.
But it's just so odd. Like, when I moved here, I immediately went to Hyde Park, and it was like, this isn't a park.
No.
Like, what the fuck is this?
It's, like, hilly and...
there's everybody everywhere. There's not one spot in that park that you could call your own.
Right.
You know? And maybe if you venture for a long time. But
have you been, like, when the cherry blossoms are out?
Yeah.
Those are so beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's like one of my favorite times of the year, and which is kind of, I guess, around now-ish.
Yeah.
Like May-ish, because it like, and then like it's like we were talking, like spring is like, it's new. It's like people are, babies are born.
This is the only season. You heard it here first. This is the only season where babies are born.
No other babies are born, even though I was born in February. No other babies.
Their mating season comes every May.
Like, I just imagine like a little chick just always coming out of the eggshell as soon as April 1st.
Yeah, no,
March
that's true.
Comes.
Well, they want
and I'm like, oh, now my depression is lifted. Yay!
Lifted.
It's just
it's like a veil. It's a huge veil.
It's an outfit. It's like a bridal veil. Like,
it's really like, I picture depression like I'm wearing my favorite winter outfit. So many layers. And then I just walk into the sea. And I'm completely encumbered. Like, I
slowly just downward like an elevator into the sea.
And then you're just standing at the bottom because you're so heavy.
Yes, yeah. But then once like the spring comes, you slowly back up, and then all of the water just like dries out of you.
And you're wearing a fucking tube dress.
Yeah.
And you're just you're so pleased.
A tube dress, like spandex, like super tight.
Yeah.
And you're just like glowing as you rise out of the water like an angel.
Just, you're wrapped in fresh plastic and you just peel it off.
Saran wrap. All the way around.
All new.
It's the best.
I know. And it's funny because most of our time spent in school in Canada, the way our semesters are, it's mostly winter.
Yeah, it is.
And for us creative folk, I mean...
Well, then it starts almost in November, I guess you could say. That like
right away.
So that November, December, January, February, March. That's 6 months, 5 months? 5 months.
Yeah, might as well count
out of the 8, 7-ish months that we were here.
12? Oh, sorry. Like, you don't know months?
Oh my god, you thought I literally it just ends at June.
Out of the 12, 13, 17 months of the year.
What would you, like, what if you could, like, make a new month, what would you call it?
Oh my god.
Like, how February is just a name? Like,
February is just a name.
Who made that?
And then I hear the only two that are named after somebody is July and August.
Really?
Julius Caesar and Augusta Gloop.
I was like, August, someone, like, maybe it's like someone sophisticated. No, it's the fat guy from Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. No, it's somebody from that era in time, too.
Okay, interesting.
Julius Caesar added 2 months out of the year, so there used to be 10 months, and now there's 12.
Oh my gosh.
So I think all the other ones
That's why it's the Roman calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the other ones are named after who knows
like
what.
December.
Deca, 10 months.
Deca, okay.
It used to be the 10th.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
That makes sense.
Octa, yeah.
Yeah, Octa's the 8th, yeah. November. Nueve, like maybe like
Nueve.
Like
who knows?
yeah.
Maybe, I'm hoping.
September 7th.
We are linguists.
I know, we're just like trying to figure this out.
But if I made a new one,
what if we were to like make the 13th month?
The 13th month
it
would
comes
be
after
like,
December.
Well, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Really mysterious number.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have to go with like the
Yes. No, well, June is only 4 letters.
I just always feel like making up new words sounds terrible.
Yes.
Like if I was like, oh, Bluecember. I love the month of Bluecember.
Bluecember? It's like...
Bluecember.
It's not even like blue. It's like placenta, but it's with a B. Bluecenter.
Placenta. Bluecenter. Bluecenter. Okay, yeah, I like that as a month.
I like it.
And it's the month of, like, what happens in that month.
It's like, so if it's like after December, it's like the new year, but maybe it's not like time for New Year's resolutions yet. So you can like have a month where you just...
It's the month where you just like purge.
It's literally the purge.
You're just like, so before the new year starts, might as well kill everybody.
All of your anger out.
Yes, loot the town, pillage. Yeah, but we could add it anywhere. Like it could come. Yeah. It could be the new like summer month.
Okay.
The first month of something.
Okay, yeah. It's when your depression is lifted.
Oh, it's when. Okay, I like this. Actually, that goes along with our thing today.
Yeah, I like it.
So it would come instead of May, it's Bluecenter.
January, February, March, and April. Bluecenter. May,
June, July,
September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. There's 13 now.
People will be like, and who named this new month?
Brayden.
Little Ray-Bans. Little Ray-Bans Clark.
Oh my god, okay, so Little Ray-Bans.
Greece.
How did we... Yes, let's talk about Greece. Brayden and I went on a trip this summer with our school. And this is like really where we got super
this
close.
Is where we fell in love.
We fell in love.
Yeah.
I remember exactly the moment I fell in love with you. It was actually when we were sitting on the chairs at the beach with like Sylvester and Melissa.
Oh my gosh.
It was like midnight. It was after midnight. You know, and we were just talking and we kept agreeing with each other on things.
Yes, I remember that.
It was like finding someone that like had the same mind as you.
And is that the same night that we ended up on the bridge?
Probably. No. Maybe not.
Because then our good friend Agley was in there.
That's right.
We met a very nice boy named Agley, which is very close to ugly.
Yes, that's what he told me when I met him.
Super popular name in Greece.
He was like, it's like ugly, but with an A. And I was like,
hot.
Okay.
You're like, do you want to fuck now?
And that's the man of my dreams.
I remember
so funny.
It was a different moment. I felt very close to you in that moment. But maybe this was a different night or the same night.
Yeah.
But we were past the point of drunk. Mm-hmm. We were so drunk that it was like sobering. And we were on the bridge. We were on this bridge in the middle of fucking Donkey Village.
It was so smelly.
And so smelly. No one in sight. Just the stars. 1,000,000 stars. So us on a bridge. A guy that we both wanted to fuck.
That's right.
And some booze. And we were just...
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
We were just so horny.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were so horny. But also still, like, just so connected.
Yeah.
Like, it was like...
It was like a good circle of friends.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't just like sexual love. It was like platonic love.
It was like platonic love. Like and we could just talk about anything. And it was so nice.
Yeah, it was.
And then most nights it ended up like everyone would leave and it would be us.
Still there talking about God knows what.
God knows what.
Making
like
up months of the year. Like.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. But that,
we went on
amazing.
a walk to like that other village.
We went on a very far... Oh, this is great, actually, because we ended up walking to another village. I had heat stroke. I was dying. Oh my
god, you literally were dying.
I was dying, black and blue, and I couldn't go out into the day. So then at night, I was like, oh, I'll get drunk now.
I'm alive.
I'm alive. I came out of my coffin, and I was like, oh.
No sun? Perfect.
And people were like... I don't know, Brayden. You had heat stroke pretty bad. Yes.
It's so bad.
I know.
It's so bad.
Italian, Russian.
It's literally like
French. It's just a mixture. And I was like, no, I'm fine. It's cold now because it's dark outside. So we got so drunk, and then we walked. What felt like miles.
It was like a long time.
It was a long time.
I was really tired, because we also had rehearsals that day, and I was just like dead.
That day and that night.
Yes, we did.
But the highlight of this story for me was that so in Greece there's a bunch of boxes that are built into the stone, and people will do like memorials for their friends and family that have died in these boxes. They'll light candles and stuff. It's really beautiful.
Cute.
So we found one on our way. And then, and we wanted to look inside, and Brianna opens the door, and it's like a mystical energy comes out, and then she just belches into the box, and we all said amen and closed it.
It went like without even like, it was an immediate response.
It was an immediate.
I like burped, and then you were like amen.
Amen.
It was like, and we just closed it.
Oh my
Not
god,
my
that was
proudest
such
moment.
a good night.
That was so fun though. I remember, and then we looked at the stars and like.
So what did you learn while you were in Greece?
Oh my god, so much.
I feel like a lot.
And a lot about myself mostly. I would say that I learned a lot about the culture and Greek theater being there.
Yeah.
We went to see some like awesome shows and
stuff.
Yeah, we
did. We saw some amazing shows.
You know, like just to be
and really
in the source.
Theaters, like some of the oldest theaters in the world. Which
gorgeous.
Was
huge like spaces of people. And like, ancient from time of Caesar.
Yeah, sitting on stone for hours watching a show.
Oh my god, that was the weirdest
It gives you
part.
A feeling.
Yeah.
It gives you a feeling.
You're really immersed into it. Yeah, no, I like it. You learn about yourself and what you would do like overseas.
Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting. There was like another layer added onto that for me of being in this space, not on a family vacation, not on a vacation with, let's say, your closest friends, but a group of people from your school that maybe some of them you're closer to, some of them you're getting to know. Like, there were some days when I was completely vulnerable in front of like strangers, basically. Yeah. And I had to confide in these people.
Yes.
Who I lived with at the time on this island. You can't talk to like anybody else or the locals. They don't really like understand you in that way.
Yeah, there's that, the language barrier. But then like you say, like you get to know these people really quickly because you're in a new space, you are working really hard most days, like 12, 13-hour days. Yeah. So it's very honest, very open feelings most of the time. You know?
And I just can't even count the number of times that people just started bawling.
So many crying.
And there's a huge group of all of us like, you okay, sweetie?
Yes.
It's like what? Like, in what situation would you want that?
No.
Never.
Yeah. It's hard.
But I really learned, I think that people are more important than I thought they were. You heard it here first.
Oh, now I understand.
Life is about people.
It's about
there are
people.
other people around here.
And especially if you're like in a new surrounding. It's
like
really
the commonality
to, have
brings you
there.
together.
Yeah.
Yes, it was so nice.
And no matter like gender or age, like it really is just about conversation. Like we're having right now. Like, and that's so beautiful that you were able to like understand that. Because sometimes I guess if you're going to a new space and you're like feeling very vulnerable, you would probably shut out people. Yeah. And you wouldn't really like want to talk to them. But then you understand that there's like such a great support from other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I even felt nervous just being like a gay man who is more comfortable living with females, living in a space with only guys. Yeah. Who, of course I know them, but even that was kind of made me anxious at first.
Yeah. How many were you in that little
There was 4 of us in our house.
Right.
And then Pablo and Leif had a separate house that was attached to ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was like attached, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty close.
Very close. And there was 2 rooms in ours, so there were 2 guys in the other room, and then me and my roommate Aiden in our room.
Right.
And I didn't know him at all.
That's right.
At the start of the trip. Yeah. And I ended up loving him to death. He is so great, He's great. Funny. I would come drunk as fuck back to the room, chug water on the floor, couldn't get off my shoelaces, and I just put a tea light candle by his pillow.
Ever so slightly, right? Just beside his head, like not even on his
right beside his head, and then he'd wake up and be like, "What the fuck?
Who's this? Why are you putting fire beside my face?" And he'd steal the air conditioning
remote from me because.
Okay.
I love sleeping. This is so off topic.
Whatever.
But I love sleeping in the coldest room, surrounded by pillows and blankets and love. Yeah. If there's another human there, that's okay.
That's pretty great too.
But yeah.
Cold.
Because
I'm like the opposite. I hate being cold. Because I feel like I can't get to bed unless I'm like warm.
Really?
And comfy and like And, like, even when I sleep, like, I'm, like, curled up as close to my body as I can. Like, I don't stretch out very much.
Oh, okay.
No, and, like, I wrap my fists, and I've got, like, my stuff bare, and, like, everything is tight.
But that's exactly what I like,
you know?
is it's almost like feeling like you're scared.
Or okay.
Yeah, like, I want to be, like, so close and bundled when I'm in bed. I don't know why. But also, I get better dreams when I'm really cold.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You've noticed that.
I've noticed this.
That's weird.
I think it's because I'm stressed in the night.
Makes sense. Are your dreams like are about being cold, or are they about like? I get a lot of nightmares. Like I mostly do not dream. They're same.
Either stress dreams, anxiety dreams, recurring dreams.
Recurring dreams all the time. Yeah.
Or a straight up ooky spooky nightmare.
Oh, and like that's just like the worst. Like, why do you want to? I wouldn't want to wake up from that. That makes me.
So you don't like nightmares?
No. I've never liked them.
Do you have any reoccurring ones?
Yeah. I have this weird nightmare where like and I had it for a really long time. I haven't had it in a while actually, but where I'm in like a corner store, like just in the middle of nowhere for some reason, and it's just me in the store and like the cash register guy. Okay. And I'm just there, and then all of a sudden, like, a guy with a gun comes in, and like,
and you're just standing there, like,
just standing there.
2 pepperettes,
right? And like, two options that I can try and fight him, but he has a gun, right? So I'm like, I'm like picturing ways that I like knock the gun out of his hand, like punch him in the groin, like. Oh my god!
So you're thinking in your dream?
Yes, it's
you're
kind
dreaming
of lucid.
Thoughts.
It's a little bit lucid, I think.
Interesting.
But then the other option that I've had as well is where I just completely die, right? Like, very graphic, but like it like ends up with me just being like totally beaten down, and then boom, I'm shot, blackout, and then I wake up.
That's scary.
So I wake up and then I'm like, where am I? I feel like I'm still in the dream, and so I've been trying to like not go to that option as much as I can, right?
Yeah. So you can kind of lucid dream
a little bit. Yeah.
I used to practice, actually.
Did you really?
Yes, and I would...
That's hard work.
It's a day job. I would be checking the clock every 10 minutes to see what time it was. Every time I sat up from a chair, I would do a little hop to see if I was in reality.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it works so well because when you start dreaming... things in your dreams, like time, will never be right. So when you check a clock in your dream, you start to understand you're dreaming. Or if you start to do physical movement, it's always different in your dream, because in reality, you're just a limp body in a bed trying to move, right?
Yes, yeah.
So then in your dream, either jumping is usually super like shallow or really lagged.
Okay. Because, time is warped a little
bit, exactly. So I started to realize, I'm dreaming. And the first time I ever realized and started lucid dreaming, I was so excited. The first thing I thought of was a unicorn. It appeared, I hopped on, and then I just woke up, and I was like,
no!
Ah! That was the gayest dream I've ever
had. That's how I knew I was gay.
The gayest dream I've ever. I can't believe that was option number 1 for me. I'm like,
the first thing you wanted to do with your newfound power was jump on a unicorn.
And fly.
That's so interesting.
I know. But it can also be scary because I've had dreams where I realize I'm dreaming and I cannot wake up.
Oh my God, really?
That's more terrifying to me than a nightmare.
Well, that sounds like sleep paralysis almost.
Yeah, almost.
Because like you're aware that you're wanting to wake up, but your body isn't like
your body is not letting you.
Whoa.
Yeah. And this dream in particular, I used to have this dream where I'm literally in like People's or like Charm or something, a jewelry store in Peterborough in my hometown in this mall, Lansdowne Place, terrible mall. And I'm with my dad and we're just looking at jewelry, and then somebody comes in with a huge gun, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And then I realize that it's a dream and I can't leave.
Oh my god.
And it's the worst, most stressful. I'm just in a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Sitting and waiting.
Right? Yeah, and like you say, time is almost like stop for a second. So like I think during one of my dreams it'll be like the gun is in my face, but he hasn't shot yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like there, and I've got like, do I fight or do I flight?
The suspense.
And that lasts over a night sometimes, where I'm just like going through all the options. I'm like, like, and it doesn't happen until I wake up, which, you know, could be like in 10 minutes or it could be over a span of like 7 hours.
That's the thing that freaks me out is dreams never start at the top or at the end. Like, they start in the middle, and you just know what's going on.
Oh my God,
I find that so funny.
You're always just like dropped into a space.
Yeah.
It's like the Hunger Games, where you're just like, in, and there it is.
You're eating like Fruit Loops with aliens, and you're like, this is normal.
And it's just what happens.
Yeah, you're like, this
how did I
Tuesday.
get here? Doesn't matter. It's already happened.
Yeah, and you wake up and you're like, understood.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna adapt now.
And then people are like, that means you have bad memories of the past.
It's so southern. Nice, it's so southern.
Because always Christian
accents.
people.
Oh, okay. I love your accents. That's so funny.
Oh, thank you. You do any accents?
I mean, French.
True.
Not really, though. I was in Greece. I had to play, like, Edith Piaf, and I literally tried hard.
It was great. It
Are
was
you
great
sure?
by the end.
I don't think
At
so.
first, it was very hard.
So bad.
It was very difficult.
Aiden was helping me, actually, because it's all in, like, you don't say this, you say, like, this.
Oh, yes.
Like,
that's very good.
Know, like,
yeah,
it's very, like...
This.
And it's faster, because I don't talk fast. I'm, like, a pretty slow talker, so I had to, like... Love is very many things. Like, I had to be very, like, quicker and... Oh, my God, that's so funny.
I loved that monologue, though. It was actually great.
Yeah, Peggy did such a good job in that show. And Vicky, too.
Yeah.
And Vicky did a lot of work, actually.
We did a lot of... And it was really interesting, like, working outside.
Yeah.
And not only just outside, but with, like, that raked audience.
Mm-hmm. Right there.
The number of times that someone yelled at us, look up, is astonishing. True. Because we're so used to performing on a strictly horizon level.
Right. Like, I mean, you look up a little bit thinking on the balcony, but this was like a full-on steep.
Yes, we were looking into the sun.
Yeah.
We were all three
Thank
blind
God it was
lights.
at night, right? And then the donkey would always come and chime in.
Oh, yeah.
Melly, I think her name was?
Yeah, Melly, yeah.
Melly, yeah.
I think it's honey in Greek.
So beautiful. Yeah, that was a good time.
It was a great time. I'll remember that trip for forever, probably.
Yeah.
There was also some terrible times on that trip.
Yeah.
I had such a hard time eating the food the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Not to mention I wasn't smoking cigarettes. Yes, so then my stomach's already like, fuck you!
That's just a complete change.
And then I get there, I'm like eating bricks of feta cheese and oil.
God, so much cheese.
Oily vegetables on rice. That's what the trip was.
On rice? Okay, and then sometimes we would have like really like protein heavy meals.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we wouldn't have any protein in our meal. And like, especially as dancers, like I could not get through the night if I didn't have like chicken or like...
Or something.
You know, like I think one time we just had like... no, I can't remember what it's called. It's like that green leaf, sort of, like a light green.
A tree?
Yeah, it's just a tree. And we ate trees. I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like a vegetable, and that was all we had, and like some like a few like little pieces of rice or something.
I remember one time they brought us a plate, and it was just like an eggplant.
It was just an eggplant.
Cut in half, roasted. With like a tomato on top.
Yes, and like where's the protein?
Anything?
Where's the energy?
Also, I hate eggplant with passion. Eggplant. It's terrible.
And having it that many times.
The texture is like banana, but then it tastes like.
I don't like it. It's not like for me.
Yeah, it tastes like alien feces or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Very slimy.
Probably growing an alien every time you eat it.
Were you one of those kids that thought with the seed thing?
Like when you eat a seed, like from an apple or something.
Yes. Yeah. Because I would eat seeds just
because
of that. For that reason.
You wanted to have like a tree grow inside you.
Yeah.
You are funny. I feel like no, because I like.
You're like, oh, I was actually educated as a child.
my mom was just like. You like don't eat the seeds. I was also like one of those kids like didn't like seeds. Like even like an orange. I cannot eat seeds. If there's an orange in it, I have to pull it out. And then maybe it's a fear that I'm gonna like grow something in me.
True.
I don't know. That's funny actually.
Are you into having kids?
Yes, I want to have kids.
That's fearful.
When I'm like 12.
Mom, I just don't want that inside.
Good choice, Brianna. Good choice.
No, you know what? I remember kids. It's just funny because, I mean, like, that's one of the first things kids play with is, like, baby dolls.
Okay.
Why?
Interesting.
Why? And do you find this interesting? I was talking about this with a couple people in the change room yesterday. Why is it that, like, something like being gay or trans is so taboo with between like a child and their parent? Like, some parents think, oh, well, I don't want to talk to my children about those things because bringing up sexuality at such a young age is hard.
Yeah.
Which is true, it is hard. But then you have Bill and Linda who's like, well, my son has 3 girlfriends at school. He's so popular with
like
the
girls. If it's a hetero like relationship, it's like it's cute.
Then it's cute all of a sudden.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like when you're growing up and you're trying to understand who you are, you're influenced by, of course, your parents and like the people around you.
Yeah.
Like so much more than when you're older, right?
Yeah.
Because like when you're a kid, you're just always learning new things.
Always at school or at home.
Yeah. So I feel like if you're not really introduced to like gay or like, you know, non-binary ideas, like all those concepts that are still kind of slowly transitioning into our lives, you are afraid of it because it's not really like, it hasn't been properly explained to you.
Yeah.
So if you just, like, let's say you watch a TV show and you're like, oh my gosh, those characters are, that's like a man and a man? What? Like, is that an option?
Yeah.
And then either you're like, oh, cool, that's fine, I'm okay with that. But sometimes you're just like,
you don't even understand it because you haven't been told.
You haven't been, like,
that
told it's okay.
Boom. That's
you know?
the thing. For me,
Yeah.
In talking about this, I realized there was no way for me to get any sort of information on my sexuality until I was much, much older.
Oh, same.
Or, you know, I had a TV in my room and I would stay up late night to watch, like, the gay channel, even as a young child.
Interesting.
Which is funny because it's mostly on that channel at night. It's mostly about, like, provocative, like, sex or, like, I don't know, older gay people talking about, like, sexuality or their nights out or what it's like, you know? So it was kind of, that wasn't what a child should be introduced to first, I feel like.
But, like, maybe it's
maybe
okay.
It is.
Like, I don't know, and that's the thing.
Look how I turned out.
A mess.
A mess.
You know, like, I don't, it really just depends on the person.
It does.
Because you can take that information with, you know, like, either you take it and you're like, okay, I'll use it or I won't use it.
Exactly. Well, for me, I was like, I think it helped me a lot because I wasn't going to get that from my parents and I wasn't going to get that from school.
Yeah.
But it makes me sad today to know that kids are getting this exact same, like, sexual education that we received when we went to school.
Yeah, that's a whole topic, yeah.
And it's like, that was nothing. I remember they put a condom on a wooden penis and everybody giggled for like 5 hours and then that was
5 hours? 5 hours straight of just giggling.
yes. And that was it. Like,
I didn't even have condom stuff. Like, it was just it was just diagrams.
Yeah, fallopian tubes.
Yeah, oh my gosh, which is like still kind of a gross image for me.
Yeah, it's like
and then like a few videos of like 90s people talking about like
yeah, I love those.
Are you ready? You know, and I'm like, no, I'm not ready.
Oh, the videos that are like,
they're so old.
I'm starting to feel a change.
Oh yeah.
I love those.
Do you know that Vine where it's like that little kid and she's like, why don't I have a penis?
Yes.
It was literally that. It was
those are the videos that they show us in school.
That's like so haunting.
It's crazy.
Like I would never show that.
You know the scene of Carrie in Carrie where she gets her period
in
and
the
then
shower,
starts screaming, crying. People are like, "What's going on?"
That's right.
That is most people in Canada today, honestly. Honest to God.
Because
nobody knows.
In with blood everywhere, yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And if your parents don't tell you, you're going to find out from your friends who are also 7.
Uneducated, yeah. 7.
Or the interwebs.
Yes, yeah.
And like, That's actually pretty good.
I mean, okay.
A quick Google.
Careful with the internet because it's very accessible.
It's very accessible.
You know, it's free.
Yes.
It's accessible. There's a lot on it.
You could buy a kidney online.
You can literally do anything on the island. And that's where I'm like nervous that I don't think kids should be going to the internet for sex education.
Yeah, I agree.
It should really be like reworked somehow where it's neutral. Like don't put it in a bad sense, don't put it in a good sense. Like, these people are 7, right? They don't need to be known know about sex. Just be educated about obviously female and male parts.
Yeah. What do they mean?
You know.
Why do people do these things?
Why do they do these things?
What is a coochie coo? You know, like I just would like to know in a setting where an educated adult tells me so, I'm like, at 7. Instead of just confused.
Instead of just like scared out of my mind.
And instead of just saying things like my bathing suit parts. Yeah. Like what?
That doesn't feel right.
That doesn't feel right. It feels creepier.
It feels creepier, yes. More cringy, more pedophilic, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, too, just like the drug education, I don't know if that's changed at all. I feel like we don't hear about that as much as sexual education in the news.
I had none.
But we used to have this thing, I remember in grade 7, I think it was, they brought in a local police officer. Small town, so it was like one of my classmates' dads.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah. And he comes in and he shows us a video. It's called like VIP.
Okay.
And it was literally, it said all the names and the street names of drugs, which I thought was hilarious even at the time. It was like weed, AKA, you know, reefer, Lucy Lou. Like they had all of these, the hard rocks,
so
like all these like street terms for drugs, which I was like, okay, this is educational.
Yeah.
And then it started getting into how drugs can become gateways to other drugs, and basically started right at tobacco and weed. If you smoke these things, boom, you're gonna turn out like this.
Into like heroin,
crack babies you know, all these diseases and being homeless on the streets.
Yeah.
And for me, the very first time when I smoked weed years after that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't die.
You're like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I thought I was.
So many people, and especially now that it's legal in Canada, like, you know, like it's just kind of funny that. I mean, it's because we don't want people to get down that path. I think that's the idea. Like, I hope that's what they're trying to do. Is that it's like, like you get into that environment of smoking, of doing all, you know, trying these things. You know, you could go down that path if you're not careful.
You could. Yes, exactly. And I wish somebody had told me exactly that. You know, I wish somebody said, you know, if you're gonna do drugs, don't mix them. If you're gonna do drugs, if you're gonna get fucking smashed, don't smoke a popper at the end of your night, okay? Freaking just relax. Do one drug at a time. Have some fun.
Take your time. Take your time. There's no rush.
But instead, I'm fucking popping pills and smoking herbs and doing candy corns.
Grabbing all of them, all the drugs. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was like a buffet in high school or something. Oh gosh, yeah. And now, I'm getting older, it's like, I just wish that I could talk more about this to people, and younger people especially, because I think drugs are so cool. Not all of them, but I think what they can do for the human brain and, you know, even for diseases for mental health sometimes is really important. Totally. But it's just done in, like, excess so much. Like, it should be taught in our education system for sure. Especially like limits, like knowing where to stop. Exactly. So you don't like go down that bad path. So true. Yeah. Can we switch gears? I want to talk about this letter. Can we talk about this letter? I was just staring at this letter too. So explain what happened today. Okay, so I was coming to meet you for the podcast. And I went to the wrong studio, downstairs instead of upstairs. I'm upstairs, bitch. Come here. So this is the weird part about the letter is I went through the back of our school, and there's like the system of labyrinths that I use a lot of the time to skip class when I don't want anyone to know that I'm leaving. Tunnel. Yeah, because you go out the back, but somehow end up outside at the front, but down the street. Great. So it's my escape It's my escape path.
It's your drug.
And then I find a diary entry on a page ripped in half going through this.
The weirdest part for me is that it's ripped in half. And like perfectly ripped in half.
And then they're talking about things that are to do with this.
Do you want to read it?
I want you to read it. You were so good at reading.
It is very intense, and I don't know, like, I really hope this person is still alive.
I hope they're okay.
Yeah, like, it's more just that we hope they're okay.
Yeah.
It goes, okay, so Dear Diary, entry 39, March 27th. Today I planned my escape with no thought of looking back. So first of all, I'm like...
First of all...
oh no.
Yeah, that's...
Are you okay?
Right, sign number 1.
Yeah. And then it goes, I've concluded that I will travel with this book while I try to escape. If I am caught, I would be surprised if my book got confiscated, having all my plans be revealed. What plans? What plans?
And who's taking your book? Who's confiscating the journal?
You're at school. It's not like this is elementary school. Like
I know, and we go to school with a lot of actors, but
we do.
This just doesn't sound like... I don't know. Maybe it is. It looks, the way it's written just looks real. It looks so real.
It stops mid-sentence. Anyways, so it goes, I made contact to the outside to rendezvous at a specific meetup point at a specific time. Also says specific time. So that
so we know they can't spell.
Yeah, okay, there's one clue. So that this can all go well. If I do not make it or I am a second late, I may as well be dead. Lots to unpack there.
Lots to unpack.
I plan to go tonight. Every night, the guard comes around and wakes me up in the middle of the night.
So, like, we're...
And then the last sentence is, mainly to make sure I haven't escaped. No period. So I'm like, there's more to the sentence.
There's more to this.
Where are you escaping to? Who's this guard? Like,
Who's the
are
guard?
You from prison? Is
know.
This like a prison entry,
and the
maybe?
Thing is that they're using what a lot of us use as an escape route.
Completely.
And leaving this note behind. Well, so it felt like they wanted us to find it.
Well, exactly. Like, they're just... It seems so perfect that, like, you picked it up. Because I feel like if any people, it would be you. I don't even know.
And I don't know. I'm worried for them. If anybody who wrote this letter is listening to this,
are you okay?
Are you okay?
Talk to us.
Let us know.
You know, like, okay, if I do not make it or if I am a second late, I may as well be dead.
And a second late.
So is there like a deadline?
Is there somebody they're meeting or
right? Because there's a rendezvous.
Maybe it's because they have to get out by a certain time.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I wonder if maybe like this person ended up leaving it because it's ripped in half. This probably for me it feels like it was they wanted to start over the letter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they wrote it because especially since they didn't finish it,
mm-hmm.
I feel like they like ripped it up and threw it on the ground and started a new page.
That is something I know a lot of people to do.
Right?
When their writing isn't perfect.
If you're not like happy with what you wrote.
Yeah,
and
obviously,
it's a diary
obviously
entry.
they want somebody to find this 50 years from now and write a story about them.
Even though it was literally written 3 days ago. I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also strange is that it was written 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
No one has been in that stairwell since. And did you mention this is entry number 39?
39. What's 38?
So there's...
What's 1?
What's 1?
What's 1?
I want to read. I want to read more.
Intrigued by this.
I feel like we should do a podcast series where we just talk about mysteries.
The mysteries.
This is so intriguing.
Because there's so many mysteries in our lives that come up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe like, especially since it's a student, like we know it's a student because it was in the back hallway.
It was in the back hallway.
But like who goes in the back hallway? Just us.
What's interesting is no one can get into that hallway unless you're a student of the School of Performance.
Yeah, so it has to be someone from our program.
It has to be somebody from our program. I'm going to send this to a handwriting analysis expert.
Like a forensic scientist or something.
Yeah.
I just want this person to be okay.
Me too. Because even if, like, we don't live in 1825, there's probably, like, this sounds very dramatic. But if you're writing this, there's probably something wrong with you. There's probably something going on in your life.
Because you just write it on your phone if you were, nowadays.
If you're having some shits
and
you were like, I'm going to write a fake diary entry for fun.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
This is not what I would write first, but maybe.
I have no idea.
For fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a lot.
Please let us know who you are.
Yes. Message me on Facebook if you're okay. If you're having problems, I'm here.
Yeah, oh my god.
No. On that note, thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you for having me.
This was so lovely.
This was really great.
I'm so tired, so I really enjoyed this talk.
I know.
I needed it.
Let's go outside or something.
We should go outside.
Yeah, we should.
We need to breathe some regular air.
And then one day maybe we'll talk about some other stuff.
That's great. I would love to have you back. Let's do that. Okay. Thank you, Brayden.
Bye.